Who gets to define it?
That's
Revenue Canada.
Revenue Canada would be
Well,
a
that's,
core report
that might
for
be part of the
certain
issue. Why don't we try and find a way to define what R&D is?
So is the question, how do we get established companies to shift some of theirs into productivity as one thing of R&D? Or is it universities, more investment into core R&D?
I think the direction we're headed is, how can government support businesses in Nova Scotia to have time and resources to innovate and come up with brand new ideas, like the toilets.
Innovation isn't necessarily research and development. I bring up the toilet seat, maybe people don't remember the reference back to the early 80s when the province bought all kinds of electronic self-lifting toilet seats. Right. I don't remember. They're self-cleaning.
They have those in O'Hare, they're awesome.
One adjective that probably should go in there is commercializable or
Oh yeah, good idea.
marketable R&D. Maybe that's what you mean by applied, but something that can attract investment if you come up with new technology, which I would say is R&D. Again, this is the definition, right?
Greg, it's your question. What put you back on the spot?
Yeah, I'd say the broad definition, but that's the helpful point to know that people are struggling with this right definition. Yes.
So,
But for this question,
Is it pure scientific academic interest R&D? Is it applied R&D? What is it that generates economic growth? And it's all of those. And right now I think we very narrowly define R&D because we have the best definition we can comes from Revenue Canada. And so everybody uses that definition, and it may not necessarily be the best definition for the industry in Nova Scotia.
would it be valuable for economic development and tourism to consult and change the definition a bit?
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying go out and define it.
Yeah. Something to consider. All right. Yes.
I'd like to suggest two answers to number 3, what actions will leverage the digital economy to enable productivity. And the first thing I would suggest is better asset mapping.
Okay.
I think we have a lot of resources here in Nova Scotia, but not an easy way to find those assets or to find the person who can tell you more about those assets. So somehow collecting that information and making it fairly easily available. And I think the other thing that the government could aid with is I call it collaboration brokering, and that basically acting as a central location where I can say I have this need, and then matching that need with someone else who can supply to that need. And I think if we use those two things that can enable quickly a lot of business needs.
Yeah, so kind of making the information more readily accessible and connecting, helping connect the innovations.
Just as a side comment, I've had discussions about something similar to that now for 2 or 3 years. I've always thought that you almost need a roadmap. There's so much going on in the IT sector. There's so many government programs and other things going on. You don't really know how to engage.
Yeah.
And there's overlaps within the government agencies, and there's other issues that are in lots of these reports. Maybe the place to start is if you look at the business life cycle and take that, the requirements that a business would have as an early startup are very different than a mature IT organization.
Yeah.
Some of them will be the same,
Yeah.
but some of them are going to be very, very different. And so using the business life cycle model, which is well known and defined for many, many years, if you could take that and map the assets and the organizations that can help the companies move through that life cycle successfully, I've always thought that that would be a way for the business community and the government sector to engage.
Yeah.
It's an engagement model is really what it is. So if I'm starting a new business and I'm trying to raise capital, then I know, it's in the IT sector and it's very innovative, then I know that there's the First Angel Network. I know that there's, InnovaCorp. I know that there's NSBI. If it's going to be exportable, there's a CO. You need to know what these entities are and what the guidelines are. And I know that there's R&D, so I can apply for SHRED. lots of business owners in our sector don't know what all those things are and are heads down trying to run their business and don't have the time to figure this all out.
Yeah. So an easy access to the right resources.
Like a roadmap.
at that stage. That makes sense. And again, it's probably going to be a bit of consulting with this type of group to kind of get the right. Yeah,
Can I talk about something a little more here and now? And I don't see anyone in the room from